Hi guys, I'm Marcia. Welcome back to my channel. Today I decided I was going to repot my tomato plant from my indoor garden, and I managed to get that done. I didn't get a whole lot done the last couple of days. We had Tropical Storm Nestor and it dumped a lot of rain on us and flooded our yard a good bit, so I didn't get much done. But I decided that today I was going to get my tomato plant done. I did get my pepper plants, about 18 of them, repotted yesterday, but I couldn't get any video footage of it because I did the repotting outside, and it was raining outside. I didn't want to kill my phone, so I didn't get any video of that, but you will get to see it soon. Hugh's going to bring home some more of those buttermilk containers for me, and I'll cut them and make them into pots for my pepper plants. They fit really well in the nursery trays that I have. I can fit 10 of the buttermilk containers on each tray, and with having the 18, I think I have probably a total of 20, maybe a little bit more pepper plants in the house. And I've got 4 trays on the tallest shelf that I have, and that's where the pepper plants are going to go, so I'll have plenty of room for the buttermilk containers with the peppers in them, and I'm looking forward to showing that to you. I'll probably be showing you my progress in tomorrow's video, but today's video is pretty much all about my tomato plant. I'm working on repotting my tomato plant from in the house. It is a yellow cherry, and you can see here I have the cup that I made out of a water bottle that has the suckers from this tomato plant in it, and it's already started growing some roots. Hopefully you can see them. It has one good sucker on it that I'm going to cut off now and put in the water so that it can start growing roots, and that will give me 4 plants besides the original tomato, and hopefully I'll be able to keep them going until the spring and put at least a couple out in the spring, if not from these cuttings, from cuttings that I take off of them. Now if you can see it, you're not going to get a real close-up, but this is the sucker that I'm going to take off of it, and it has blossoms already, and I'm going to go ahead and cut the blossoms off of it because while it is rooting, it doesn't need to have to try to support the blossoms. So I'm just going to cut it in its little armpit right here where that branch is, and then I'm going to cut all of the leaves off except for probably this top and this one. So if you see, I'm cutting all of the leaves off of it with these little scissors and just leaving it that much, and that's all it probably really needs to start taking root. The other ones, I think I left a few too many leaves on them, and so now I've got it in my little cup of water here, and it'll be able to take root. Now that I have that done, I've already got a little bit of dirt down in the bottom of this pot, and I'm going to take my tomato plant and cut some of the growth off of it, some of the little branches coming off of it. It had a tomato here at one point that I harvested, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. Just cut all of this because I'm going to try to get a good bit of the stem down in the soil. It'll grow roots off of the stem that is underneath the soil. So we'll take that off, and probably even this. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm trying not to bruise the plant too much. I had it supported with twist ties on the shelves in the house in my indoor garden. So I'm going to just try to do the best I can to not bruise it. You can see it has a pretty good root system. It'll do much better in this bigger container. So I'm going to just take it and try to get some of this stem underneath the soil. Now I've laid the root ball on its side instead of having it upright. And it won't hurt to do this to this plant. It'll actually benefit it. I may, once I see how it's going to fit in this container, I may just go ahead and cut a whole bunch of branches off of it. I think that probably that's going to be good. I don't know if you can see very well. Let me see if I can get you a little better look. Maybe I might have to make some adjustment here. Try to get you some adjustment so you can see a little bit better. Oops. Okay. Hopefully you can see down in the container. So I'm going to try to take a bunch of cuttings off of this. Because I don't want to leave the branches on it and leave them to be underneath the soil. I hope you can see. Now this is the first time that I've had a tomato plant in an indoor garden for as long as I've had this tomato plant. I actually had purchased it with the intention of putting it outside, but the weather was so hot that I just didn't get it done. And let me just take a little look here and see how I want to do it. Alright, so I'm going to cut these little scissors. They're actually from the little scissors that I was using, they're from the craft department at Walmart, and they're really good for making small precision cuts if you need to cut some little branches off of tomato plants, or like I use them for my pepper plants, and they're really good. And I think that they were around $10 for that pair of scissors, so they're not a bad price. And they can do things that a larger pair of pruners can't, like get into little small spaces. Now I'm using a little bit of older potting soil, and then I'm going to use a little bit of fresh organic potting mix for this. I do reuse a lot of potting soil. I wanted to try to get more into using raised bed gardens and less container gardening, but that didn't work out this year. When we lived on the beach, I did all container gardening. Everything that I grew in containers. And some things grow really well in containers and other things don't grow as well in containers. It just varies depending on the plants. I've tried to grow Brussels sprouts in containers. They don't do as well in containers as some other things, but I have had some success with broccoli in containers. Peppers and tomatoes do really well in containers. I've grown radishes in containers. I've grown carrots and sweet corn in containers. I've grown onions in containers. Lettuce grows really well in containers. Sometimes you don't get as big, the fruit doesn't come out as big in a container as it does growing it in the ground, depending on the size of the container you're putting it in and what plant you're actually trying to grow. We've grown eggplants in containers, and they've actually done pretty well. Chinese long beans, we've grown those in containers. I've grown some peas in containers. They do fairly well in containers. Cucumbers, I've grown a lot of cucumbers in containers, and you can get a pretty decent harvest growing cucumbers in containers. Now you could see there was a lot of tomato plant there, and I cut a lot off of it. I'll probably keep it at this level of soil. I may come back later on and add a little bit more soil in here. But I'm going to stake the plant up. I've got a pretty tall garden stake here. So as this tomato grows, it'll have a nice tall stake to support it. It's not real heavy duty, but it'll do the job. I'm going to just put it down in here. Now, the root ball is in this corner over here, so I'm not disturbing the root ball. And I've got this twist tie, well, it's two twist ties together, that I'm just going to loosely twist it on here. I don't want to bruise the tomato plant. That's it. And it's going back in the house, and it'll go on the floor in beside my shelves where I have all of my pepper plants, and hopefully it'll do really well. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you'll know the next time I upload another video. Talk to you later.